Spiritual doppelgangers. What is a spiritual doppelganger, you may ask? Well, it's exactly what it looks like. It's a spiritual copy of a living person. Someone that looks exactly like someone living, but in a spirit form. Some may even call it an astral projection. Others call it a spirit body. A lot of people even believe that the appearance of one could mean bad luck or a haunting for the person receiving it. And today I want to speak about one such case. The case of Emilie Sagee, a woman that had a spiritual doppelganger throughout her entire life. And what makes this story even more peculiar is Emilie Sagee never once saw her own spiritual doppelganger. Yet it was witnessed by dozens of people throughout her lifetime. Have I got your attention yet? Good. Let's get into it. Welcome to Peculiar Occurrences. I am your host, Lilith Nova. Not much is known about Emilie Sagee's early life. She was born in France in the 19th century, and it was always her dream to become a teacher. She was an easygoing child, yet very withdrawn from the community around her, rarely playing with the other children, though people just assumed it was because she had a twin sister that she was often seen with. Now, where twins were very common at the time, these two seemed to throw the other school children off because they seemingly were unaware of each other, yet mimicked each other's every move. And Emilie's parents were more than aware of the situation, but living in a time of supernatural paranoia, some lucrative thing like this could really ruin their bakery business. So they just went on as normal and let the neighbors think that they had a set of twins. Emily's parents mostly kept her at home, paying for a tutor to come and teach her from another town. Emily's siblings were very used to seeing her doppelganger wandering around the house with her. Often, they would find that the doppelganger would be going through motions of doing chores while Emily was fast asleep on the couch. And when asked what she was thinking about or dreaming about when she was asleep on the couch, she rarely ever remembered. Now let's jump to 32-year-old Emilie Sagee, who worked in a private boarding school. She was a very good teacher, but for some reason she kept moving from one job to the next, to the next, to the next. In 16 years, she had changed positions 19 times. And in 1845, the all-girls private school found out why. Sagee was apparently the center of some very strange doppelganger activity. The spectral twin was first spotted in a classroom full of 13 children, when the twin was seen popped up next to her at the chalkboard, mimicking her motions, drawing on the chalkboard with no chalk in her hand. And then again, it was seen standing behind her while she ate, again mimicking her motions, no utensil in hand. And this is when the teachers started to notice something a little strange. Sagee herself was completely oblivious to the apparition, although the people around her could see it very clearly. However, she did become very tired and groggy during the times that her doppelganger would come out, even seeming to go someplace else in her mind. The doppelganger would also be seen doing many things that later on Sagee would say she had been thinking about at the time. So this kind of suggested that perhaps at this point, Sagee may have had just a little bit of control over it, even if that control was subliminal. It's almost as if she was astral projecting her spirit out of her body while she was awake, and letting it go around and do things that she had been thinking about doing herself. Soon the spirit started to wander further and further away from Emily, wandering the halls on the other side of the school from where Emily was, much like it did when she was a child. On another occasion, in front of a classroom full of 40 students, Emily entered the classroom and went and sat down in the teacher's chair. All the while, Emily could also be seen clearly outside the window working in the garden. They noticed that the apparition just sort of sat there in the chair while Emily outside the window worked the garden as if she was in a sort of daze. The children this time decided to be brave enough to try to touch it. The few children that decided to go up and touch her found that their hands could go right through her, and they said that it felt like a sort of fabric. A thick fabric. Time went on, and the apparition became a regular part of the school and constantly scaring people into leaving the school. And remember, this was a time of superstition, so a lot of these girls' parents started removing them from this school. And although Sage was a wonderful teacher on all accounts, the headmistress really had no choice but to fire her and her ghostly double. And there are no more records of Emilie Sagee or her death after this point, though a lot of people have suggested that perhaps she had changed her name. Okay, so this story actually comes from American writer Robert Dale Owens, who was told the story by Julie von Goldenstud, a student at the exclusive school near Wolmar, what is in now Levita. And this person was supposed to be a very legit person, like a baroness type person, considered very reliable. So what do you think about this peculiar occurrence? Do you believe that Emilie Sagee actually existed and this actually happened? What do you think about her doppelganger? Do you think this is some sort of spirit twin, or that she was astrally projecting while awake? Or perhaps maybe she was a twin and the twin died in the womb and they were really seeing the soul of her twin being attached to her. They say twins are supposed to be attached to their twin through a silver cord. Perhaps that's what they were seeing. Let me know what you think about this down below. And while you're down there, don't forget to hit up the description box for your Peculiar Occurrence merch. As well, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. And if you're new here, subscribe and hit that bell button so you'll know when I upload. I'd love to have you as part of my Peculiar Squad. Don't forget to come hang out with me on Twitter and Facebook and all the other wonderful platforms in between all of this. And until next time, keep your eye peeled for all things peculiar. Do 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 do. Yeah. Oh, that was so monotone. All right.
Are you listening? Damn. Yeah.